This video is dedicated to Christian Roberts. Christian, thank you. Thrasios Triton Hero partnered with Kydele, Chosen of Kruphix, versus Doran the Siege Tower, Saison Perverter of Truth, and Norin the Wary. Well, we've got mana there, haven't we? So, yeah, worst case scenario, we go for Tolarian Winds. Potentially won't have too many cards in hand for the Tolarian Winds, but we'll try it regardless. And then get into a Soul Ring, so we're getting all the fast mana here, aren't we? Let's see if any of our opponents scoop. Soul Ring takes us straight into the Mana Vault, and then we could go straight in for the Aetherflux Reservoir here, which I'm actually not against. Let's get that going straight away. Springleaf Drum from Norin. The other two players just getting out black lands, and we are going to be taken further away from the Aetherflux Reservoir because we get pinged by the Mana Vault. Drawing to Immobilizing Ink, which is really good with the Kydele, so let's drop an island and get Kydele going. And instantly gain that life back that we took to the Mana Vault. Norin the Wary coming into play there, they tapped out to make it easier to pass through the turns. And they did miss a land drop there, unfortunately, still at 7 cards in hand though. And there is a Soul Ring, Magic Online being kind to all of us apparently. And that takes them into Ebony Alnatsuke. And Doran just getting down a plains and passing the turn. We will not untap the Mana Vault here. See what we draw into before we make any other plans. Okay, Fabricate. This deck is brought to us by Christian Roberts, by the way, and he's obviously given me the deck list, but the deck list doesn't actually tell you. It just says combos galore. Doesn't actually tell you what combos are in the deck, so not entirely sure what to search up with Fabricate. I'm actually tempted to go for Phyrexian Metamorph onto the Aetherflux Reservoir and then go for Tolarian Winds at the end of my opponent's turn. So how's about... yeah, we tap down the Kydele and go for Phyrexian Metamorph onto the Aetherflux Reservoir. That sends Norin the Wary running. We'll gain a life from the original Aetherflux Reservoir, and then that can come down as a copy. So obviously took the 2 life to that Phyrexian mana. Yeah. And we're not actually going to draw too many cards from the Tolarian Winds. Might have to leave that until our next turn, in hindsight. Yeah, we'll see. Then Price of Glory from Norin. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, if it's not that player's turn, destroy the land. So that switches off our Tolarian Winds then. Raider's Wake. Whenever an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life. So yeah, we've got some draw hate and control hate coming in here. Doran consistently taking damage to the Ebony Owl. They are down to 32. And then going for Generous Gift onto the original Aetherflux Reservoir. We couldn't counter that if we even had counter magic in hand, thanks to the Price of Glory. Only 2 lands in hand, certainly don't want to lose those. So we get an Elephant token for our troubles, and we'll not go for the Mana Vault again. Drawing into a land is good. Are we going to draw into another land? With Tolarian Winds, we get to see more cards if we don't play it, so let's go Tolarian Winds here. Gains us a life with Aetherflux Reservoir, sends Norin the Wary away, and our graveyard will get shuffled around here. But we discard 4 cards, and lose 2 life 4 times, so that's obviously 8 life, going down to 30. Graveyard gets shuffled back in with Kozilek, and that is Isochron's Scepter. Genesis Wave with only 2 green mana available to us feels pretty bad. Yeah, so for all the mana we're generating, we're not actually doing all that incredibly well. Didn't get into another blue source, of course, so can't go for the Thrasios either. Apparently would have been the play to make. So we'll just start swinging in at the Doran player for blowing up our Aetherflux Reservoir. Impact Tremors for the mono red player. And then it comes back in and pings all of us. So every time someone casts a spell now, we're going to be getting pinged by this thing. More fast mana for the Saison player. They have Cabal Coffers in play now as well. And they get down their commander. So just missing a Doran the Siege Tower now. Oh, and that is a Dark Deal. Well, we're going to see some new cards at least, but we're going to go down a single card. So obviously going to be taking more life to the Raider's Wake as well. So the Doran player plummets down to 14, has hardly done anything, and is already down that far. Saison will help us with the Kydele at least. So there's Doran the Siege Tower, and then they tap out and pass. They might as well tap out because of the Price of Glory, of course. So we are going to continue to get pinged by the Mana Vault. Just so happen to draw into the Aetherflux Reservoir again. And an island as well. So we'll drop the island. We'll go Mana Crypt and start gaining some life from the Aetherflux Reservoir. And I think we're okay to go for Aetherflux Reservoir here. And let's get down this Thrasios. And that jumps us up to 27 really quickly. And then we'll go Biomancer's Familiar as well. So back up to 35, which is much more comfortable. And then we can go at Kydele and activate this Thrasios. And Thrasios only costs 2 thanks to the Biomancer's Familiar. Yeah, I think that is going to be okay. We'll take out a few players with the time reversal potentially. Depends what draw pain stuff they get into over here. But refilling my hand feels pretty good. So we'll put that on top and draw into it and just hope that we're not forced to discard it. And then just holding back there, maybe could have taken the elephant in towards the red player in hindsight. But then Gnawing the Wary comes back in at the end of turn, of course. Really lucky getting back into the Aetherflux reservoir there. That could potentially be a game changer for us. We're up against a red player though, so could blow up the artifacts. And that is a Panharmonicon, so going to trigger the Impact Tremors twice whenever their commander enters. So we all get shocked at the end of each turn pretty much. The Saison player dodging the Mana Crypt there and gets into another swamp. Still 3 cards in hand thanks to their commander. And they plump for an Arcane Signet before anything else. Then a Crypt Gas, so double in their swamps. So tapping down all their lands and going for mana from Cabal Coffers, that was 8 mana. Alright, Coveted Jewel. So they'll draw 3 cards when that enters. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of attacking going on so far, so they might keep hold of that for quite a while. Now a Defile, and unfortunately, going to get rid of our Kydele here. So we'll certainly put that back in the command zone. Might still go for the time reversal next turn. Although it would be nice to do that with Kydele in play. Probably have to get her out, actually. They also play out Iron Maiden. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, it deals X damage to that player, where X is the number of cards in their hand at -4. And then 6 commander damage goes in towards Gnawing. At the end step, that triggers the Impact Tremors. And at the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, target opponent discards a card. So we'll get rid of the Coalition Relic and pray that we can keep hold of Time Reversal. Yeah, might have to crack that before we go for the Kydele, unfortunately. Anyway, Doran was at 7 cards in hand, now 9. So the Iron Maiden, we'll get rid of them. Unfortunately, Doran didn't get to do much of anything there. So it's just a case of us trying to gain as much life as we can here, maybe. We'll see what we draw into off the top. Don't lose any life to Iron Maiden. We do get a Windfall as well. Also lose the Mana Crypt flip, so losing 4 life to our own rocks. Get into a forest for the turn. There are 6 cards over here, so I wonder if it's just worth a Windfall. Let's go for the forest for the turn. We can play Mystic Remora. Yeah, we'll play Mystic Remora, and I think maybe going for Kydele is a better idea while we've got these wheels in hand. Might be that we have to discard those 2 cards if the black player has anything to say about it, but hopefully not. So the 2 Aetherflux reservoirs doing a lot of work for us here. Let's go Thrasios. And it is an island on top, so we will put that on top and get it straight into play. So not doing too bad on the coloured mana now. It was a bit sketchy at first. And if the Saison swings in at us, I think we'll just chump it with the elephant maybe. We'll try and hold back the Crypt Ghast as well with the elephant, so let's just take these in at the red player, and that can be a lightning bolt on them. The black player managing to stay at a decent life total here, which is surprising against a Gnawing player that has been drawing a lot of cards this game. They'll have to be careful of the black creatures swinging in towards them. If they take 6 commander from this and then are forced to discard a card, then that'll be them done. Alright, and a Siege Gang commander will sort that out for them. So they are going to get how many creatures? It comes in with 3, so 4 creatures in total. That is 8 pings on the Impact Tremors. Oh, but of course the Siege Gang commander itself gets doubled up, doesn't it? So it is 6 tokens it comes in with. So 7 in total is 14 damage onto us. So we go down to 11. It is 17 for the black player. And then Gnawing the Wary comes in and deals a further 2 to us. So we might be done for here thanks to the Gnawing and the Saison, as well as the Raider's Wake. That's done a hell of a lot of work this game. Pain's Reward, and it looks like they are paying into the Extort as well. Don't know if they're going to pay into Mystic Remora or not, but we'll certainly try to draw a card with it so that we have more of a choice as to what we discard. Felwar Stone is certainly the thing that we will discard if we have to, but like I said, I think we might be done for here. So while they're at 15 life, they can certainly win the bid. We're just going to go 0 on Pain's Reward here. Don't want to be losing any life. So they only bid 1 life and ended up drawing 4 cards. That's pretty good for only 3 mana. Lose 1 life, draw 4. And then it is Curse of Fool's Wisdom. Whenever the enchanted player draws a card, they lose 2 and you gain 2. Well, that is certainly the end of us, I think. Although we did just draw into Khan Liberated. I don't fancy our odds here, but we'll certainly have to get rid of that if we're going to do anything at all. And then it is Awaken the Erstwhile. Yeah, thanks to the Raider's Wake, that has been the absolute best card in this game, I think. Yeah, pretty bad matchup for us, I think, coming up against the Draw Hate and Discard Hate, but did get to show off what the deck can do, and I think that's pretty damn good. So we'll discard our hand to Awaken the Erstwhile, and we'll lose 2 life per creature. Already lost 2 life to drawing the Jace's Archivist. So actually we're going to go down to Impact Tremors because all the tokens come into play before the Raider's Wake triggers resolve. So yeah, they don't quite have enough, unfortunately, I don't think, for the Impact Tremors to get rid of the black player, but they'll certainly get rid of us. So we both go down there, like I said, thanks to the Raider's Wake. This player had a bunch of cards in hand. I think it was a full grip of 7, so they were never going to survive against the Discard and Draw Hate. Yeah, pretty cool deck from the Cezanne player there, and I think we showed off the Thrasios and Kydele list pretty well also. Losing the Kydele was a pretty big deal to us there. We lost a turn. Had that not have happened, we could have gone for a wheel a turn sooner and then tapped down Kydele for a bunch of mana and hopefully chained off from there with the Aetherflux reservoirs in play. But it wasn't to be this game. Just looking over at the deck list, there's lots of combo pieces, but not all that many means of protection, so that might be something for Christian to think about. But big thank you to Christian Roberts for being a patron, mythic patron of the channel, and giving me this deck to play with. This was a really fun game. Hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. You can support on Patreon also if you would like, and leave a thumbs up and subscribe on the video at the very least, because that really helps with the YouTube robots. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.